in their own.
Is there anybody who can be in charge of that technical part of things?
We were just having that conversation with them that they need to. Okay, it's gone live now. Charge of that technical. Yes, the young people, they are the ones that have the.
Exactly. They have the
They are the ones that
know-how.
have the know-how.
The know-how, yes. I mean, I'm learning a lot of things, but I refuse to overcrowd my crowd out my very essential things that I should learn.
I know what you mean. I'm like that too. I've learned more than I need to. Okay, over to you. Thank you, Dr. Z, for joining us. Really appreciate you. So Dr. Z is and I will let him introduce himself later. So over to you, Joshua. Get us started.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma. So we'll be starting with the national anthem.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians old and proud to serve our sovereign fatherland. Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign. In peace or battle honored, and this we count as gain. To hang on to a banner without stain. O God of all creation, grant this our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed. And so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed.
So I'll be handing over to our moderator for the day, Farimadi Joshua.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. Using this opportunity to welcome us to the third edition of the Real Advocate, the youth wing of the African Leadership Group, the Real, which means responsible, ethical, and accountable leadership. The forum that is set up to build the upcoming ones that will be accountable when they get to the position of authority, that will be real and be leaders that are ethical. So that is what we have. So we want to thank all our daddy and mommy in the house that have been joining us. That for the past 3 months that we've started our monthly edition, and here we are again with the third edition in this month. Once again, I'm saying good evening and welcome to the third edition, Ma. So I don't want to waste our time. I would like to invite our mommy in the house. She has been a wonderful mommy, giving us advice, joining us in our meeting at all time. Our mom, the vice president of the ALG group, Madam Jumoke, for the opening address. You're welcome. Please let us clap for our mommy as she give the welcome address, everyone.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to yield that position to my mommy in the house, who is your grandmother in the house, Professor Grange, for always being there. And those are the shoulders some of us are standing on to continue on this fight for the Nigeria that works for you. And I also just want to thank Dr. Z for joining us all the way from Minnesota he's another soldier. So you guys make sure you invite him on your next program as a special guest. So yielding to you, Professor Grange, for you to give the opening remark.
Thank you, our dear mommy in the house.
Our grandma in the house.
Before I give the opening, please, could you just open it with a short prayer for us? Madam Jumoke, just a little prayer to
Father,
guide.
we just want to say thank you. We give you glory. We give you honor and adoration. We thank you because you are in everything. And as we yield, we give them back to you, these children that you have called, that you have poured out your spirit on, everything that they are doing. You know why we are doing this. This is for the good of Nigeria that you've called us to, and for their future, that they would have a great, bright future that you have ordained, the purpose and the plan you have for them will come to that realization. Father, help them to be all that you've called them to be, and help us, Lord, to support them in every way that we can. Let your spirit be upon each and every single one of us. And I, in Jesus' name, and I know there are other Muslims here, but thank you. Thank you, ma.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Is there a Muslim who would like to say a prayer? Any Muslim that wants to give us a Muslim prayer? It's never too much.
Imam is here.
Yes.
Iman is here. If you can do that on us.
Yes, please. Iman.
Iman, you're muted. Okay. Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening.
Good evening.
Can you hear me?
But if you promise to stay till the end, you can give us the closing prayer. No problem. Okay. Thank you. Well, it's my greatest honor to be with you this morning. It's morning for me. I think it's probably almost evening for you over there. I thank Jumoke, our dear mommy in the house, for setting up this very, I would say, it's unique because it's virtual. There are some youth centers all over the place where things happen, but it obviously does not reach so many people. And I'm glad that, Madam Jumoke has found time and thought it fit to set up this empowering project. Thank you very much. Why is it necessary that there should be some interaction between generations, intergenerational interactions? For many reasons. If you, as your generation, if you focus only on your generation, you would miss out on what others before you had built, had developed, and they have learned through experience. So this is a sort of shortcut for you to learn from them and take it from there to begin to develop yourselves and create a portfolio that you can also use to teach others and to develop others in future. So you see how, it's like a relay race. We take a baton, the number one person takes a baton and hands over to the second one and to the third and to the fourth. And the relay race, in a relay race, everyone that is participating is very important, and because any lag, any lack of enthusiasm in anybody is going to bring down the whole team, So I want you to look at it that way. You are a member of a group, and you need to know that your own performance determines the outcome of the performance of all your group, of all the members of your group. I remember when I was in college, there was one particular lecturer who liked to lecture us as he walked around and looked over our work, what we were writing down. And suddenly he would stop by one of us. Thank goodness, I don't think he ever stopped by me. And he would shout at the top of his voice, "The speed of the class is measured by its slowest member." So what does that mean? It means that, whatever you are doing will always impact on other members of your group. I want you to remember this and to always think, when you are self-reflecting, how are you making progress for yourself, not only for yourself, but for others, to bring others along. So with that short introduction, I would like to invite the first speaker to make his presentation, his or her presentation. I didn't look at the gender. So thank you very much. There will be time for us to interact later, and maybe I'll make other comments later. But that is my brief remarks, opening remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And Joshua, if you don't mind, I also just want to acknowledge Dr. Charles Obin for joining us from North Carolina, Dr. Z. So I'll give you their contact information so that you guys could have them as guest speakers. Over to you. Thank you so much.
Once again, thank you, our mommy, Professor Greg. We are really grateful for that insightful word. When the mother speaks, they speak from experience, making us to realize that our action have great. So we, the young ones, also have to know this and work towards this, making positive impact always. So, as we all know, tonight's diction is a special one. We have put in this program in order to let us know. Most of us, the youth, we believe that when we talk about farmer, most of the youth have wrong notions when we talk about farming, about agriculture. They believe that farmers are those ones in the villages. So today, we'll be talking on unlocking youth potentials, and education and innovations for food security and sustainable agriculture. We know we are facing with climate change today, and things are not going well. Many people are going hungry. So many nations, they are giving them food aid. So if we did not all arise to this, it will come to a time that it's only junk food that will be in existence. So we want to learn more tonight, this evening, on how we can build ourselves, how we can bring in innovation as youth in building agriculture. So tonight we have our guest speaker. Our guest speaker for this evening is Mr. Audu Taufik Oluwasegun. He is also known as Mr. Green. So our speaker just as short bio, he is a farmer and horticulturist, a CEO of Greenfield Farm. So I want us with happy ovation to welcome our guest speaker to take the floor for his presentation. Thank you so much. Mr. Green, sir, you can take over, sir.
Can you put me through?
We can hear you.
I was expecting my video. I don't know, because I'm not seeing myself. Or can I just talk?
We can see you. We can see your video.
Oh,
You're
okay.
wearing green with a hoodie.
Okay. Okay. I don't really know how this works so much, but it's okay. Um, sorry about my look. I contacted the chicken pox. So I hope you guys don't mind. No,
Mr. Green.
thank you.
You're all green. That's
Let me
good.
say it. My name is Mr. Green, Adipa Opikorowa Shegun. Yeah, I studied botany in OAU. Then I came to just for service. So before that time, my plant story, my agricultural story, my nature story has started. Not because I'm a botanist, because most of the people that graduated my department, they didn't even do anything but related, or anything plant related. But I pick interest because there's a lot of things that lies in nature. So, and one of the things I said to myself, I wanted to study medicine quite right when I was given botany, 200 level. I said, no, this thing I have to do it because everywhere I go, I see plants. So I relate to it directly. Like, since plant is everywhere and there's a God in heaven that created everything, there should be a God of plants on earth. I mean, like people that wish plants to or to people like that show plant benefit and how you can make use of plants to your own benefit. So I came very well. Then I did my COS and horticultural garden in Ife. Then I was posted to Jos. So after my service there, I knew I was going to stay because I love Jos. It's a place that has so many beautiful flowers, beautiful plants, exotic fruits that are not even everywhere in the country. So I keyed into that opportunity and I was able to make Greenfield Farms. And right now, I'm a farmer, I'm an horticulturist, I'm a plant content creator, and I also do comedy. So this is just like telling youth that you can be limitless. You can go overboard. You don't have to restrict yourself or limit your potential. Like you can go overboard, you can break the box, you can think out of it. So in anything you are doing, being innovative is very fundamental, is very essential because you need to know when to come up with something that is new or something that even if it's not new, you can rebrand it and make it your own kind of thing so that you'll be able to push your information to the world. So today's topic is unlocking youth potential. I like to talk to youth about agriculture because I feel like it's a market that cannot be saturated. It's very big. You can be growing corn, I can be growing potato, someone else can be growing carrots. You can hardly see somebody that will grow everything. Some people grow coffee, different kind of things. That is about plants. In animal world, so many things that you can rear as well. So unlocking youth potential, harnessing education and innovation for food security and sustainable agriculture. It's crystal clear. We don't even need to say too much. These days, you see the way food stuffs are very high. Like I always make this joke in my content that I'm a farmer, I can marry up to 6 wives right now because at least in one way or the other, there's food around me. So you that you're probably doing, maybe you're a doctor, you're an engineer, you still have to come and buy food. Food is very expensive now. You know what pepper and every other thing is saying in the market. So we need to know how to be able to grow our food ourselves. That's what I preach to people, knowing how to grow your food yourself. And as a youth, if you know how to grow your food yourself, two things, you'll be able to eat good, eat healthy to a very large extent. And also you will be able to make inflow money to yourself. You don't have to take farming as a full-time job, take farming as a part-time job, doing anything you are doing, then as well do farming in cooperation.
Joshua, you know the plan was that we either take two or one question. You see the number of minutes that the moderator used. Please, you should follow time, skip to time. Then ask him.
Hello? Yeah.
Hmm.
Hello, are we together?
Sorry
Yes, I'm
about that. I
together.
think that
Sorry for
was
the
an
interruption.
off side comment. Sorry, it
That's
wasn't meant for the platform. Sorry.
okay.
It's okay, no?
Right. Thank you.
So now, jumping into my slide, I'm just going to be doing some part of the slide and also at least see the other things from my head. So, first in education, education is just the process of receiving and giving information like or instructions, like in a systemic way, maybe formally or informally, just a way of you being learned. So it's good for you to be educated. And how do you key education and agriculture together? When you are educated, you'll be able to make a lot of things. You'll be able to be involved in what is happening in newspaper, in agricultural world, in new things, new information, be able to blend in. You can read and write. You can be able to send mail. You can apply for loan. You can apply for grants. Be able to pass your message to people in different part of the country. You will not be limited to only Yoruba because you don't know how to speak English, or limited to Igbo people because you don't know how to speak English. So, and you'll be able to understand plants with their scientific name to a very large extent. Yes, to a very large extent. Then you can be able to read more about the plants you're growing. One thing about agriculture is practical. It's not something that just like medicine too. You know, when you are done reading medicine, then you have to go for housemanship, full practice. Most of the time, the difference between reality and what is on the paper, there is a lot of gap. So for you to be a good farmer, you need to at least start growing something small, small. You kill some, you grow some successfully. So you need to be innovative. You need to be innovative. And like I said, when you are innovative, that is when you know, okay, even this thing I'm growing, how do I market it? Through social media, through networking. I have to create a niche. This is where I advertise my produce to people. And this is where I reach out to more people. The more people you're able to reach out to, the more customer base you'll be able to have, and the more you'll be able to change and impact the world. So if you are learned, you are educated, then you'll be able to make seminars, workshops, to preach whatever you are doing to people, and what have you. So that's about that. Then the agricultural practices, that's when you are innovative. There are so many things you can do these days. We are not locked into the archaic method our forefather used, the old way of farming, just farming, crude way. These days, there's a lot of things you can do. You can go into greenhouse whereby you have.
Is this guy? Does he have to look like?
Yes. Okay. I don't know. You can play that in a moment. Let me just run through this. Then maybe I'll give you a break. You can play my video. So, like I was saying, greenhouse farming. Greenhouse. I think everybody knows what greenhouse farming is. They call it internal. That is a way of creating or a farm using plastic. Some people call it leather, but professionally they call it plastic. Then you use nets just to shade off rain, pests, and also regulate the humidity in the place. Some plants are able to grow better in greenhouse. Then hydroponics, you can grow plants in water. That's not a news again. Modern implements. So you'll be able to use so many modern implements these days. Implement that you don't even need to do too much. Just small computerization on them. They are doing work on their self-automated farm. There are farms you can make area farm whereby you put farm in layer. In a very small space, you have like like a bucket or like a container. Then the upper part you have different. That's just layering farm. You can do that. You can do area farm. You can do hydroponics that is in layer too. So many methods. You can do soilless farm. If your soil around you is contaminated, you can bring in materials that are not soil, rice bran, sawdust, mix them together with some manure, sterilize them, then use them to grow your plants. You don't necessarily
Audio is gone. What's going on?
I think our speaker's network.
Oh, it's his network, is it? Okay.
Let me just play his video that he
Okay,
dropped.
I think yes.
Mr.
That's
Joshua, please play the video, sir.
yeah.
Who is this guy? Does he have to look like this right here? Who says I cannot? Why not? If not, some of us don't follow rules. We create ours. My name is Mr. Green, aka the Niggle Giggle Jingle, aka the phytogrammatologist. I'm a farmer. I'm a landscape horticulturist. I'm a greengrocer. And this is my farm. I'm just one of those Nigerians who believe so much in themselves. I like following the right channel to get things done. Sadly, the only way my late father taught me. My life isn't perfect. I still struggle with my finances. I have loans to pay. I still struggle with relationships, struggle with content and creativity. My billionaire dream is still looking far from my reach. But what I can tell you vehemently is that I'm not where I used to be. Pragmatic shifting, growth. My mother will call me now. What she'll be saying is that, oh mommy, go and marry as a in-law. She'll make it so simple, like I can just go and plug a wife from a mulberry tree or from a pomegranate tree. But instead of me to go and marry, I go do the best man for my friend's wedding. I was the best man in the world. And that got me my first suit. This suit, my only suit. Moral lesson of this story is that, dear Nigerian youth, it's not too late to start something today, something you are passionate about. Do it with your whole heart, with one mind. I promise you, you won't regret it. Another moral lesson is that you can still wear a cute dress to the farm. Barika the salah to all the Muslim women. Nowadays.
Yeah, I'm back. I don't know what happened. I just got locked out. I don't know. But I'm back. I'm sorry for going.
It's not under your control.
Okay, thank you for having me back. So, and thank you for my video. I appreciate it. I'm getting shy already. I'm so emotional already. Anyways, thank you. So, just like I was saying, you can there are so many ways you can do your farming.
Dear Nigerian youth, listen to me. Dear Nigerian youth, most especially the ones seeking admission into uni. Come, let's reason together. As a unit, when filling your JAMB form, try to be among the lucky people to fill courses like botany, plant science, agriculture, or plant-related courses. Time don't pass when the only course where they under people and are like doctor, accountant, engineer. Come off it. All these things, Jawomo. These days, if you are not careful as a doctor, you see yourself as conductor. One friend of mine, accountant, where I know, is not accounting for anything. His life is not even accountable. Why not you study what you go be apply for everyday life? Everywhere you go, you see green, you see plants. Everywhere I go, I see nature, I see life giver. Don't you want to know the science behind plants and the benefit to humanity? Plant is life. That's the slogan we used to say when I was in school. Botany department of Bafemi Awolowo University. Great effect. Now that I'm out of school and I'm in school of life, and I'm now fully schooled with the school of thought, that the best school you can be schooled is plant school. Because I see plants everywhere I go. I see my relevance. Plant is life and we all need life. A lot of prospects in plant courses, environmentalists, processing, scientists, pharmacognosy, academia, horticulture, biotechnology, even herbalists. If I like, I can be selling above. Can't you see Fekomi? You can be a farmer if you want to. You don't need to do tedious work yourself. And for the mind work, if you want to do, you charge up, finish up, and back up. Then drip on drip. Wow. And then you're part of the people using nature to feed nation. Building great future with healthy plant portions. Just do it. Continue to do it. Who is this guy? Does he have to look like this right here? Who says I cannot? Why not? If not, some of us don't follow rules. We create ours. My name is Mr. Green, aka the Ningu Gigu Jingu, aka the phytogrammatologist. I'm a farmer. I'm a landscape horticulturist. I'm a green grocer. And this is my farm. I'm just one of those Nigerians who believe so much in themselves. I like following the right channel to get things done. Sadly, the only way my late father taught me. My life isn't perfect. I still struggle with my finances. I have loans to pay. I still struggle with relationships, struggle with content and creativity. My billionaire dream is still looking far from my reach. But what I can tell you vehemently is that I'm not where I used to be. Pragmatic shifting, growth. My mother will call me now. What she'll be saying is that, oh mommy, go and marry as a in-law. She'll make it so simple, like I can just go and plug a wife from a mulberry tree or from a pomegranate tree. But instead of me to go and marry, I go do the best man for my friend's wedding. I was the best man in the world. And that got me my first suit. This suit, my only suit. Moral lesson of this story is that, dear Nigerian youth, it's not too late to start something today, something you are passionate about. Do it with your whole heart, with one mind. I promise you, you won't regret it. Another moral lesson is that you can still wear a cute dress to the farm. Barika the Salah to all the Muslim women. Nowadays.
Okay, as we wait for our speakers to join back, please, I would like Professor Nike to just give us a brief opinion on what food security entails and how youths can engage with the community to improve food security.
Thank you. You mean based on what has been presented? No, well, sorry, I didn't get the question. What did you say? You would like me to make
Okay, I
comment?
said your opinion or your take on what food security is all about and how youth can engage with the community to improve food security around them.
Oh, food security. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, correct. Oh, sure. I think it is definitely the most important thing right now for the whole of Nigeria and certainly even for the whole of the world, you know. You've seen what has happened, that without food, people become very agitated, violent, and in fact, they can bring down the government, you know. So, and without the government, there is no country. So, you know, that is how important it is. I enjoyed very much the presentation
I'm
because, yes, go ahead. You want to,
I'm sorry for, I don't know. Okay.
you wanted to say something?
Yes, I'm sorry for going again. I'm back.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not so used to this. I don't know why my phone is behaving this way. Sorry, everyone. So I'm back. Like I was saying, like I had mommy saying, let me just continue from where she stopped. Without food, there's going to be a lot of agitation. And if you check my page, make a lot of content on Instagram. What I tell people these days is you can grow your food yourself at home. As a youth, if you are growing food, like I told you, two things, you are eating, not spending money outside, and you can as well sell to your neighbor that is not growing. So if everybody is growing food, one of the things they are preaching this is home gardening. Home gardening. You don't even need to have a land. You can grow food in buckets, in container. We call it containerized farming. You can grow food in
So,
containers.
Mr. Green, I understand that. I was coming to that.
Oh,
I had to say first why it is so important, why your presentation is so important, and why, you know, it is the way to go when the government is unstable and there's poverty, and you cannot then use the traditional methods of farming, you know, because traditional methods of farming had done very well, because everything was kind of like stable, we could earmark lots of land to people to grow, and the the government could provide support, structural support, etc. But what you are saying is very, very critical now, that traditional way of farming is no longer possible, or it's not working. And so growing food at home in your own backyard and all that is something that we should consider. But don't think that this is a brand new method, brand new idea. When I was in school, this was, we were being taught that we were supposed to have, taken on the responsibility of school farms, having school farms, etc. But we, obviously we didn't, because we could get food cheaply from farmers. So this is why I'm saying that what you have said to us today is even more critical now. I hope you all understand where I'm coming from. It is more critical, and I believe that this is something that needs to be promoted, very widely, using your educational tools that you have also mentioned, the social media and all that, and and you as a farmer, you have gone out to learn not only to do the farming, but to educate yourself on how to market your farm produce and how to market your methodologies, okay? Which is not what the ordinary farmer does. So thank you very much, Imam Tahir, for bringing all this together, in an innovative way. Thank you. All right.
Okay, thank you, ma.
Thank you so much, ma. Thank you, our mommy. Looking from our mommy presentation, she made mention of when she was in school and school garden. So it will have been an opportunity for many people in those days to learn about agriculture. So, Mr. Green, welcome back again. So I would like to, based on what our mommy has just said, I would like to ask you, how can educational institution adopt the curriculum to better equip students for career in sustainable agriculture?
Can you say that again, please?
Okay, sir. The question is, how can our educational institution adopt bring changes into their curriculum to better equip students for a career in sustainable agriculture? For instance, I as a person, I study history and international studies, but I do not even have any way in agriculture. So based on this, how can schools, our institution, bring that even though you did not study agriculture, but you will have a knowledge about agriculture and be able to have a sustainable agriculture in our society? So
Yeah, I think if more people come up with that, and maybe if Minister of Education can be able to liaise with maybe the federal government, and if they can bring that into the curriculum, because I can't do anything. You can only say, okay, advice, you can only drop advice, or you cannot really implement. Is Minister of Education or people that are directly in charge that can be able to invoke or infuse that into the curriculum. Definitely, we advocating for that, or you can't do it on your own. Who are you? Who am I? Until I've gotten to that level, maybe everybody knows Mr. Green, then I have a massive voice, and maybe they'll be able to listen. Or it's something that is fundamental if they put it in the curriculum. Primary school, secondary school, there's agric for everybody. My school, my secondary school, everybody studied agric, and we have farm. We all had farm. That's the basis, which is very good. But in uni, everybody study their own stuffs. Unless you do an elective that is agricultural related. They are elective. When I was in school, even though you are not in faculty of agriculture, you can be able to take that elective. So in one way or the other, I think that is in the system, but maybe it's not very popular. And people are not being sensitized to take that course. If people are being sensitized enough that, okay, I'm in faculty of education, I'm in faculty of social sciences, but I can pick this elective in faculty of agric that can help my agric life, they should be able to do that.
I think that's an excellent response. What you are trying to do is to make it attractive enough for the educational institutions to take it seriously, to take seriously your advice first. And from there, they will now get the government to give the support to get those who have been trained to train others.
Very
And
well.
yes, and also give some support for the use of these methods in homes, in small gardens, whatever, you know. So, you know, Iman, you are onto a very big thing. And and I want you not to minimize the importance of what you have presented to us, but rather build on it. Build on it and get more people of your group involved. You alone cannot do it. Okay? Just remember that. You need a team. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, man. Please, anyone that have question, we can drop it in the chat box. So, Mr. Green, thank you so much, sir. I will also like to ask another question from here, sir. The question is this: what role do you think technology play to enhance our food security? One of the major challenges of the world these days is food security. And when we look at the SDG goal, one of the goals is food security, food for all. So, and there are some organizations like FAO, so they are working towards food sustenance. So, what do you think, and how do you think technology can help us to enhance food security, sir?
Technology enhancing food security. Okay. This is just like a two-way kind of questions. These days, if you push any product or any seed to people, the first thing they ask you, is it GMO? Is it GMO? That is genetically modified organism. So technology, in one way or the other, has brought GMO, and the GMO has not been generally accepted. The reason why people have problem with GMO is because it is new. It has not been tested for a long time, so they are not sure if it will have maybe like a future adverse effects. So people are still skeptical about it. Technology brought that, and one of the reasons why technology brought that is for yield production. So when you are doing GMO products, there's different reasons: disease resistance, yield. That is, some will be able to grow in hot climates or cold climates, different climates. So technology did that, but it is not generally acceptable yet. And the reason why technology did that is for food to be able to be multiplied. An average of maybe orange is supposed to produce like 10 or 20, but with technology is now able to produce like 500 because they've genetically modified the gene in that seed to be able to produce plenty times. So in one way or the other, if you want to take technology to help agriculture, we should still be sure that we are ready to take it, because so many people are not accepting GMO. And if you check GMO critically, it is not something that is bad, but we are not yet to accept that. And again, there are a lot of seeds these days that they are good. They are hybrid seeds. You plant one, then you can get more yield, or grafting. There are a lot of I can't really say it's a new thing that has been on ground for a very long time. Air layering, grafting, and so in the sense that You don't need to wait for 10 years before you start to eat your avocado. You can eat your avocado next year, newly planted avocado. If you graft an avocado on another avocado, you be able to like cut that plant to growth vegetatively. It's just going to jump from growing as a juvenile straight to reproductive growth. So in one way or the other, that's technology, or we have not really embraced it. Not plenty people are planting grafted fruits. Not plenty people are planting hybrid fruits yet. Once we start to harness that into the system, more people are planting grafted fruits, hybrid fruits that are not even genetically modified. Then we'll be able to have more food in circulation. Then we'll be able to like sustain us more. And again, more sensitization has to be done. I don't know if I'm answering your question right, but I think this is the angle of which I'm saying it. More sensitization has to be done so that more people can key into planting, in the sense that the population has skyrocketed. We were not as plenty as this in the world before. People were doubling every day. So farmers, growers has to be doubling at the same rate so that we'll be able to like feed ourselves and be able to store food. If we are growing food that is not adequate for us, we can't even store for future. It is only when we grow excess, then they can store food in barns, in silos, and so on and so forth. So I think that's my take on that. I don't know if I was able to answer your questions well. If I do not, just bring them back. Let me still try to brush in it. Or if I do.
Thank you, Mr. Green. This is where you and I will differ on the value of GMO. Now, you've already told us what GMO is. It's manipulate the genetic, content of the food and all that. Now, one thing with food is that when it is assimilated into your body, it also, there are biological products released that will modulate your own metabolism, and these biologic products, they are tiny things, almost like, they can actually now affect genes, your own genes. Okay. The reason that we are skeptical about GMOs, you'll find that the health sector is very skeptical about GMOs, because the part of what will be released from such foods will be products that are foreign to the body. They're not natural, they're foreign to the body, and they may now sensitize the people, they may now sensitize the body. And the unfortunate thing is that you will not even know what is causing it, unless we have a laboratory where we can now check on individual food product and all that and see. This has been done in the developed countries. And that is why in developed countries, they do not promote GMO foods. Take it from me, they do not. Because also, it has legal implications. Because if you are giving me food that is changing slowly my own genetic makeup, then, and it's not going to be obvious until much later. Maybe, I would get cancer when I shouldn't have gotten cancer or something like that. Much later, So these are all the uncertainties about GMOs that make us on the health side become very cautious about promoting such seeds. Yes, it has the advantage of being resistant to pest and all that, and let me give you a story about resistance to pests. Most of the foods that are produced commercially in the developed countries used to be so altered that, if you were to have your bread on the table for, let's say, a week or 2 weeks or whatever, no pests, nothing will even get there to eat it. Now, when people realize that, they say, well, if other agents are not eating this thing, why should I, as a human being, be eating it? It's because they have put into the food things that are not that will kill small agents, and it can then kill the cells of big people without us knowing it. Okay. Do you get my point? So we have to be very, very careful
Yes.
about how we promote GMO foods. We have to be very careful. As a matter of fact, the debate is ongoing. We from the health sector, we are not enthusiastic about promoting GMO
Thank
foods.
you very
Okay.
much, man. I think it's good that you've broken it down. But I was not saying that GMO is okay, because there's still a lot of skepticism on it, and that is the clause on GMO. People are not sure of the overall or the aftermath effect after years. Maybe it's carcinogenic. Maybe it's going to bring this effect that is lethal to your body that is not. So that is why GMO is not being used now. Rather, you use hybrid seed, that you know that it's not genetically modified. Hybrid seed.
I'm sorry, just explain this hybrid seeds again for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
The major difference between GMO and hybrid is a GMO, genetically modified organism, a foreign material from either bacteria, another plant, or animal is brought into the DNA sequence. When they are breeding that plant, is brought to it to alter the gene. So the gene is changed entirely. Then hybrid is genetically recombination. No new material is brought in. The same DNA sequence of that plant is recombined so many times to get a particular desired trait. This is what I'm saying.
So what is the advantage of using hybrid seed then? Agriculturally.
Hybrid seeds are breeded for particular reason. There are some seeds that are breeded for resistant to drought. There are some that
are bred, by the way, bred.
They are bred for yield. There are some that are bred for temperature and so many other things. So the advantage of using an hybrid seed as against normal seed is that if you plant an hybrid seed, that it's bred for yield. If you plant like 10, it might be able to give you like maybe the overall kg, maybe 100 kg. Whereas normal one will give you like 15 kg.
Okay. I don't think many people know about that. So you definitely need to emphasize that more. Okay. Because there's no foreign material being brought in.
There's no foreign material. Man, I always don't take this GMO thing serious. I made a post on TikTok. Some people were saying it's GMO, it's GMO. So I went to research and read more on GMO, the way they make it. I saw the science and everything behind it. Then to myself, I was like, this thing, it has not been generally accepted now. Maybe later they might. So I started castigating it emphatically. Let that just be on the road. Because the whole science behind it is doing something, but the method of doing it has not been fully accepted because they feel that health implication, which has not been proven.
Exactly. So, well, it has not been proven, but even on suspicion, we should start working towards maybe further modifying it so that the unacceptable consequences can be made acceptable. You understand what I mean?
I
Just
get you.
as you talked about the hybrid seeds, maybe there's something that can be done about GMOs that will, make them not be so damaging
Yes, ma'am.
to the body, So that is where we are with GMOs now.
Yes, that's where we are.
Yes, yes. So I would just leave those leave those alone whilst they
You're not
start.
sure of it. Why would you eat something you're not sure of?
Yeah, exactly. So
That's the thing. Why would
let's
you eat
focus more on hybrid seeds.
hybrid seed for now?
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. We've learned a lot on about that.
It's really insightful. Thank you so much, Mr. Green. Mommy, thank you so much also for bringing the conversation to enlighten us more on the need why to go into agriculture. Because as we see now, with what our mommy has said about the GMO and its health implication, we now realize that it's our duty to all participate in agriculture. So as we are trying to round it up, I would like to ask the final question. For this final question, I would like Mr. Green to make the first contribution, and every other person who want to make contribution can go after it. So the question is, how can we integrate local knowledge and practices into modern agricultural education and into the agricultural practices? How can we integrate, our fathers during their time, they go to farm, cultivate heaps, do this. They have steps they take before doing anything in the farm to have the desired result. So this local knowledge, and we are in the period of modernity, how can we integrate the local knowledge of our forefathers into agriculture, into the modernity, to have a sustainable agriculture and food security? Thank you so
Yes,
much, sir.
thank you for that. There's a gap. Sorry, I mean like there it's like so thin line between. There's no much gap between them. Like I've always said, the first thing you need to do if you want to grow plants is the interest. That's the first tool you need. The interest. The interest. So once you have that interest, which is the old method, definitely okay, going to farm, growing things in a good way. So if you still have the interest and you want to modernize, if you have the interest, plant that thing on the ground. At least see it grow, check it. Is it doing well? Is it not doing well? The old method are like cultural method. Okay, when bird is eating your plants, you do like a scarecrow. You do you can be making sound, all those kind of things. But these days they are leathers you can put in your farm that wind will be blowing, that will be making sound, and so on and so forth. Those ones are still working, but you just need to incorporate the new method now into the system so that they can work hand in hand. My father was a farmer. I didn't even know I'm going to do anything about farming. I grew up being a farmer. Yes, I can tell you that the only thing I picked that time was just the interest, because a lot of things has changed. I can tell you for a fact. We're not growing vegetables. Now I grow vegetable, I grow exotic fruits, I grow pomegranate, I grow passion fruit, and so on. What we were growing that time was cocoa, yam, kola nut, and so on. They are different method. Do you get? So if you want to grow yam today, the method you use to grow yam will be different from when you want to grow plantain, will be different from when you want to grow broccoli, cauliflower, or zucchini, and so on and so forth. So the major thing about integrating is if you are open to knowledge. This thing I'm growing, how do I prepare? Because the way you prepare your soil growing potato is different from the way you prepare your soil to grow carrots. Are you making ridges? Are you planning for rainy season farm? Are you planning for irrigation farm? All those things, they need to be put in place. So the method you use is based on what you are growing. If you are growing old crops like maize and so on, just little or no preparation, you are good to go. But if you want to upgrade to growing vegetables, more sensitive plants, the way you prepare your soil, the way your ridges are your manure inputs, and your organic pesticide, and the cultural method, everything you know that is different. So it's not that maybe there's a particular way of growing everything. The number one thing is picking the interest. No, I want to grow this. Then you'll be open to knowledge. You'll be open to knowledge to know more about that thing you are growing. Maybe by learning from somebody that has grown that thing before, or by making some research. And I don't know, since you said this is the last question, let me just say this to everybody. Nobody is perfect when it comes to farming. Farming is more practical than theory. So, like I always tell people, now if I go back to my school to do seminar symposium, I'm sure so many of my professors, they'll be opening mouths. I didn't pass very well graduating, but I've been on the field practicing. If you give me all the terminologies or all the procedure to grow broccoli, if you go on the field, you might not meet it that same way. But if you are able to grow that thing, you meet all the real life scenario. You don't know rain is going to fall this much. You don't know this pest is going to come twice in the season. You don't know this is once you are able to do it practically. So farming is more of practical. So I always encourage people to start. If you want to be a good farmer, see that you invest after you've attained some knowledge, you've learned one or two things, and you invest small. Or if you want to invest massively, you can invest through a specialist, a professional. See that you invest gradually, you are learning with time, experience is teaching you more, or you learn through somebody that has done all those puzzles, that has learned by failing, by trial and error, that to a very large extent perfect, then you cannot invest through that person. If not, your money will enter river. Thank you.
Yes, I think you've answered the question by combining the traditional with the modern. Obviously, traditionally, it was the farming was done by trial and error, and we gained experience, through the practice. But now, we are fortunate that there's quite a lot of knowledge about farming, so we can shorten the process of trial and error. I think that is what education does for us.
Very well, ma'am.
Yes, it makes us learn a lot before starting the practice, and therefore minimizing what could make things go wrong.
Minimizing the risk.
Yes, the risk. That's it. That's
Thank
it.
you.
I think is that not what you were after, Mr.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
In asking your question, I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you so much, man. Thank you, mommy. Thank you, Mr. Green. So it has been a wonderful series, learning more about how to build sustainable agriculture and be a blessing to our neighbors through our agricultural produce. As you all know, what Mr. Green said is that knowledge. So maybe we have anyone also here that can share, that have more contribution or the other, so that we can also gain more knowledge on innovative ideas that we can bring into sustainable food security and for an agriculture. Maybe we have any contribution from the audience. Anyone that wants to contribute, please let us raise our hands or question. Any question or contribution? So I would like to appreciate the presence of everyone here today.
Sorry. I don't think we can let them go like that. We cannot let them go like that.
Not at all, man.
At least 2 or 3 people need to show us that you have acquired enough knowledge to be able to ask questions. What surely everything has not been answered. There must still be some doubts in your mind about certain things, or you want to give advice or something. I can't see. Can you please bring down this thing so that we can see more of the participants? Because if we call them out, then that's better. Thank you. Is Mr.
Mr.
Kiwani?
Nelson
Exactly.
Adia. Thank you
Exactly.
so much. We are very grateful. Your contribution, sir. Uh, Please unmute.
Let me unmute. All
Okay,
right.
sir. Yeah.
So, yes. So, sorry, I'm still at work. I was pretty busy with a lot of things and I just joined in. First and foremost, I want to thank you guys for having the initiative to put this. It was very well put topic. And I thank the presenter for such a phenomenal job. I came in a little late, but I heard what some of the things he's saying. I've often said this, that show me a country that can feed itself, and I'll tell you people who the country itself. Doubt about that. And I hope that he will come back again to talk about this because this is very crucial. Um, Farming is not the substantial farming that we used to do anymore. Why? Everything has progressed from the cell phone to what it is now to medicine to cars that we drove when we were younger to what it is now. Everything's becoming democratized and everything's becoming technologically savvy and improved with technology. So also farming has to be, and particularly for our people. Because if you look at our population in 1960, I think we're just about 30 million. Today, we've gone to 217 million. In another 15 years or so, Nigeria will be the fourth most populous country, or some people say the third most popular country on earth. After India, China will be Nigeria. So what does that mean? It therefore means there'll be a whole lot of mouths to feed. Now, we have to improve on our technology on providing food for the number of mouths that we need to feed. What it also means is that there are also different aspects from the farming itself to the what do you call it, the downstream businesses that can come out of farming, from the harvesting, from the transportation, from the soft storaging to the processing and even exportation. There's a whole lot of network that you as young people can fit into those places, and you become rich, multimillionaires across the globe. Some of the richest men and women on earth are farmers. He has proven that. So I know we talk about everybody jackbuying and all that out of frustration, but if we begin to look inwards and find ways, you have his access now, you have his contact, come up with your plan. Dot your I's and cross your T's. Come up with your plan on how to get involved in each and every one of those aspects that I just talked about and plug in. I'm sure he'll give you his access into the knowledge of how to source for money. He got the money, he got it done, and reach out to other people as well. I mean, I'm here, I'm a doctor, but guess what? I'm involved in a lot of other things. Write up your proposal. And guess what? If you don't know how to write a proposal, seek for somebody else. But even if you don't, you have ChatGTP. Plug in the right information, right data, do your research. What is the farming techniques? What other things? Put it on ChatGTP. You spill out how to write a good proposal for you. And that's the same proposal you show to people and see how you can perfect it. And you can use that proposal, defending it, and you get your fund. And that's how things needs to be. So look, the world is on your shoulders, but better off. It's in front of you and it's on your palm. You can do a whole lot with that and achieve the aims and objectives that you set for yourself. The country is bad, things are bad, our leaders, look, the leaders that we have today are products of us. And that's why we have what we have, because we're despondent, we're angry, and we're becoming so intellectually lazy. I'm sorry to say that, but that's why we have leaders who becoming up. They come out of us. If we change our mindsets and begin to innovate and do things for ourselves, guess what? Those leaders will come out of you. It therefore means you begin to have innovative leaders, and if you have the money, you tell them what to do. You vote them into power. You give them policies that would help change things. Here in America, if you want to come up with one thing that affects farmers, guess what? They'll gather together. You have to change those policies. And that's how we must begin to look at things. Because the future that we're helping you guys create is the future that you guys will lead. But you have to take it in your hand to run with it. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you so much for the contribution, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Madam Jumoke, please go ahead, ma'am.
Yes, I wanted to thank Dr. Aluya for joining us. Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate you. And we'll be calling on you as a special guest for next month. I also wanted to acknowledge Mrs. Tola Johnson. She's the queen of soya bean. Thank you, Auntie Tola, Mommy Tola, for joining us and for coming to support. So we would also like to hear this is part of your industry, your field, and so just wanted to acknowledge you. Also acknowledge Tohiba Ajayi for joining us. We are glad you could join us this evening. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Madam Tola Johnson, please, we would like you to contribute to the discussion, ma'am.
I asked her to mute. Maybe she's somewhere she can't talk. Okay. I just wanted to acknowledge her. All right.
Okay, thank you so much. Also, we appreciate everyone for our time. So I would like to hand over to our team coordinator, Mr. Akinwamide Joshua. Once again, thank you, everyone. Mr. Akinwamide Joshua, please go ahead, sir.
Sorry, just one small intervention. Does anybody know how we can further use the advantage of all the youth having to spend 1 year in youth service to promote agricultural practices? Does anybody, Mr. Green, do you have any idea of what can be done? You see, because I feel that this National Youth Service is being wasted. Yes, there is just no plan to harness the energies and the communal passion of the youth corps.
Okay, I have something to say.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm a product of what you just mentioned. I came in as a copper, and we were four, like that. We were into agricultural related stuff, and we were all copper. You don't need to be a grower to be in the agri world. You can be in the value added creation. You can be in processing. You can be in packaging. You can be in the marketing. So what the other people were doing, they get things from farmers, then they sell to Lagos. So one of them is the grocery lady. She's popular. She's in Jos. People know her in Abuja, in Lagos. Another person is Edge Fresh Food. Another one is Awesome Fresh. So you don't even need to be in the farming in the farm. You can be off-taking, you can be looking for people, be networking, buy 10 naira, then sell 15 naira or sell 12 naira, make your profit. Or you can be in maybe cold chain logistics or any other thing
I'm sorry, Mr. Green, we are at the end. I just wanted to know whether you have an experience within the youth corps service, how we can
My point is copper can incorporate
Yes,
themselves.
copper, yes, the youth corps can
Yes,
incorporate these
there's
ideas.
a lot they can do. There's a lot. That's what I'm trying to say invariably.
Yes. Okay. So that is one area also where, this thing has to be taken up. The promotion of agriculture, of the new methodologies, etc., needs to be taken up. Maybe through more communication with the youth corps. Madam Jumoke. Oh, somebody's hand is up.
Okay.
Yes, it's me.
Oh, okay.
I think, Professor Grace, that's an incredible question you just asked, and it's something we need to put a thought process into. How about having what do you call it? Youth copper farms in every state, because they once every month, I think they go for their whatever that they do. So they can spend one of those times to begin to grow. Each state will have a copper's farm. So how do we begin to do that? We apply to the federal government, let the federal government give land to every state that will be called a copper farm. You understand? And then they grow stuff over there. And I think that's one idea. And then, Mr. Green, I would not mind with you helping, work on the plan so that you can also, again, out of your corporate, social corporate responsibility, draw up a teaching program for farmers for this coppers farm. And then maybe once or twice a year, you go speak to farmers, to coppers about what you've done and how you become so successful. I think it will be marvelous. You create a lot of interest in farming, and you teach individuals on how to get involved in the process of farming, not just in farming, but the downstream aspect of the business. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. That's exactly where I thought we should go, to make sure that Mr. Green is not let off. He has to build something up from here. Okay. Sorry, Mr. Farimadi, you want to speak?
Oh, is Mr. Akiwamidema.
Okay.
So what I just wanted to say is also in accordance to what Dr. Nelson has said, because the core program, I'm a copper myself, and every week there is this dedicated day for the community development service, that's CDS, that we do. So, and I feel agriculture or farming is not part of that program of the which is a major aspect, the NYSC program in itself. And when I was at camp, I was not introduced to anything farming, and also there was no, and I also noticed the community development service we are doing every week is not even as effective. So what the government can do is they introduce that into the scheme, and then, like Dr. Nelson has said, allocate land for every state where core members can exercise that practice of farming. And from there, because we say there's no interest, but there is a way we can influence the interest in youth.
Thank you so much. That is where I think we should get to before giving up on this, because it's an action plan. Now we are making Mr. Green the leader of this action plan. Please draw up an action plan for the youth corps service or whatever, youth corpers, to be involved in farming. Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Green, I would love to work with you on that so that we can push all the buttons that we require to get it done. So I probably will share my contact with you.
Yeah, we talk more intently on that. No problem, sir.
Excellent. Please include me too, as your grandma.
Right? I'll put my number on the phone on the platform.
Yeah, I'm really very much interested in this. I'm already. Thank you.
That's great.
Thank you. All right.
So thank you very much, everyone. We really appreciate your attendance, your contribution. Professor Grange, we really appreciate you engaging us. Our speaker, Mr. Green, Dr. Nelson, your contributions, they were amazing, and they are just going to instigate us to work more on improving the food security in our country. So before we close, I would just like to run through some of the key points that have been discussed. And also one thing that I've always researched about and look, because I'm someone that is interested about health, and I look at the way health is deteriorating from inception. If you look over the generations, you see that there are more dangerous diseases now that kill, and they even kill faster than before. And I think it's because there's a saying that you are what you eat. So what you eat is really what determines your state of health. So I just want us to look at this GMO for an instance. This GMO, I think, if it's still under debate, I don't think it should be under debate anymore, because my opinion is it should just, because we are introducing a foreign element into the human body. No matter, I don't think there's any research that you want to do to change the fact that it is being introduced into the human body as a foreign element. So what I'll just say is, we as Nigerians, as human beings, we should watch what we eat. We should try to, because when you eat a live chicken that was reared normally, and you eat a chicken that was not reared normally, I think you would see, because agriculture is more than just farming. It also has to do with livestock. For instance, livestock, talking about our cows, the goat meat we eat, even fish. And you see that there's a lot of frozen food that we are eating these days, and what they are using to preserve it is a foreign element. It's not natural. So I'm just encouraging everyone to watch what we eat. And also, another point I noted was the importance of technology in agriculture. Technology generally in all spheres of life, it has made things to be easy, move faster, and make us to see better results. So the hoes, the cutlasses, I know that getting funding for, especially in our country, getting funding for heavy equipment to use in farms, because I know some of us are very passionate to grow a very big farm and see that we're able to feed as many people as possible. Because I know there are people that want to just go into farming to feed people and not just to make money out of farming. So I don't know what we can do. I'm throwing it out there now. I don't know what we can do to find a way to also reach the federal government in a way that they can provide. I know they are providing easy grants and other things for farmers, but I think it's not as easy as they make it to be in the media, because it is very obvious that the media can be very misleading. So I would just say this, that technology, no doubt, improves the effectiveness and efficiency of farming. Also, the last thing I would say is also networking and marketing in agriculture. So agriculture also needs to bring people together, like minds together. If you are not someone that likes to network, I don't think there is, because you cannot be an island on your own. I don't think there's a way you can move as far as you want to. So I will encourage us to network and to market the idea of agriculture. So that's pretty much some of the things that have been discussed here today. And also, I would like to encourage everyone on this group, on this call, to if you are interested in joining the Real Advocates platform, I sent the group link on the chat box. You can check it out. You can click the link and then you'll be admitted into the group. And then just follow us as we continue programs like this. You see how encouraging and informative this one is. And next month, in less than 72 hours, Nigeria will be 64 years of age. And we are, can we say we were better than the way we were, or we were worse? Because I feel we are worse than when we were year one. So the truth is, we need to come together and let's have a discourse next month. If you join this group, you'll be updated on the next month's program, and we will encourage you to come discuss. Let's form an action plan where we can influence government's policy. I'd like to appreciate everyone's presence here again. Thank you very much.
Right, sorry, Joshua, before you go, I have Edwin Ikechukwu hands up. I think, sorry to interject. He's an entrepreneur, a scientist, and he's done stuff on the tech area. So that when you talk about tech and farming, I don't know what he has to say, but Edwin, I'm sure Joshua will not mind you, maybe you have a contribution or had something to say. Thanks, Joshua.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Nelson. Thank you, Joshua. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for sending the link for us to join this webinar today. Sorry, this is my first time, and I just came, and what I just heard is agriculture, food security, and finally, I'm hearing technology playing a vital role in agriculture. Yes, let me introduce myself. I'm Ikechukwu Edwin. By God's grace, I'm leading a tech startup in Africa as a whole. And Dr. Nelson happens to be my mentor and the leader who has been of tremendous help to us. So my own contribution and input here is that on our own path, we are driving tech. And when it comes to talk about technology in agriculture, because we're experiencing food insecurity now, and that's why the price of things are very, very expensive. Going to farm and inadequate farmland thing will be very, very anything that's going to make the society better and great for us. So I would like to say few days back, okay, let me say few weeks back, few months back, I've been discussing with so many innovators across Nigeria, across the continent, and it will surprise to know that a lot of people are doing a whole lot of great things when it comes to agricultural equipment. For instance, if we want to irrigate our farm today, we used to make use of this machine. We used to pump water from either from the river or whatsoever to irrigate our farm and make use of fuel. So there's this one of our innovators that was able to develop a fuelless generator to use for irrigation of farm. So it just makes use of battery. Once you just put on the battery on the machine, take the hose to where it's supposed to pump water from, it will pump water and fill your farm, irrigate your farm. So instead of it to be buying fuel with the price of fuel that's high now, it will beat that particular one. We also got in contact with a young man who is working with us right now, also very creative when it comes to agriculture. I believe we've known or heard about the soilless farming. So I've been in talks with him, and he told me how we can go about that. We'll be building greenhouses that can grow some kind of crops, and it will be devoid of pest invasion and a whole lot of things. So with that, we'll be able to produce a lot of foods to sell, maybe within 3 months, 4 months, and 6 months. So these are the area where we're also paying attention into a way we can make sure that we rescue people from going into farming, because this issue of agriculture is very important. Gone are those days where we're thinking agriculture is meant for people who have not gone to school, or it's just meant for people who are supposed to be in the bush and all those things. I've not understood that agriculture, it's very, very important. And no matter what you're doing, you need to pay attention to it, because food is important. So if we can do something, employing tech, whether we are using drones to spray fertilizer on our farms, or whether we are doing scarecrows to put on our farms to chase away animals that will come to eat crops in our farms. So employing tech in all those things are very, very much important. And I am very much happy to have heard this particularly. So in any way we know we can work as a team to get things done, I myself am very much ready to get to work with us. So let me hold here for now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I don't know if Madam Jumoke has anything to say as we close.
Mr. Moderator, sorry to just, can you grant me just one more minute? I just want, by way of emphasizing the need to take on this venture seriously, the fact that our children are suffering from malnutrition, a lot of malnutrition, and particularly stunting. And stunting is associated with poor cognitive performance, which is permanent. So it's a serious matter. If we want to have a nation full of bright sparks, you know, those who can actually innovate and all that, then you have to feed them. Otherwise, if there's no food for a long time, I'm afraid we'll end up with a nation of morons. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma, for that. And I hope everyone will hold that very dearly and ensure that see, the thing is, I live in Lagos State, and just in front of our house, we have a little farm. And what we do at times is there are people around that we help with. When we harvest what we can, we give it out some of the time to people so that they can have something to eat. We don't necessarily need to wait on the government. We need to come together as a nation, individually and collectively, and ensure that our children, our youths, our elder ones are eating right and well. So, Madam Jumoke, I don't know if you have anything to say as we close.
Thank you, Joshua. Do I have the floor now or just?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This has just been a very insightful conversation. It's inadequate for it, and I think it's something I am so very happy and extremely proud of what you guys are doing, and what the potential for what this can become. And like Mommy Green said, Dr. Aluya also mentioned it, that it's in your hands and you have the resources, you have the support. Mr. Green, thank you for your initiative, and Mr. Edwin, thank you for all that you guys are doing. And they would definitely be calling on you. The real advocates will be calling on you for the pilot project of how they are going to implement everything that they've gained from from today. Just want to thank you all again. Thank you, Mommy Grange. Thank you, Dr. Aluya. And we hope to have you as a special guest next month on our program. Mr. Edwin would also be following up with you on how we can get some of your resources to support the next steps. Thank you, everyone. God bless you.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you, everyone. If you want to be a part of the Real Advocates, I've dropped the WhatsApp group link. You can just click on it and you'll be admitted into the group. So I'm just going to encourage everyone to attend next month's program. We think this is amazing. Just wait for next month's program. Thank you, everyone. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
God bless you. Good night. Good evening. God bless you all. Thank you. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Auntie
Mr. Green.
Jumoke.
Thank you. Thank you, sweetheart.
Take
Thank you for
care of yourself.
joining. I appreciate you.